okay today?
Yes, thank you, but I'm a little bit tired.
Oh dear, come and sit next to me. Shall I read you one of my stories to cheer you up?
Yes, please.
Okay, which one would you like me to read?
Oh, lovely. Hetty the Brave Hedgehog. That's one of my favourites. Hetty is a very shy hedgehog. She doesn't like big crowded places, so as soon as she could, she left the hustle and bustle of the town and moved to the countryside. She now lives in a pretty little cottage in the woods. She has a lovely tended front and back garden with pansies leading up to the front door and purple flowers arching around her door frame. Being so shy, Hetty doesn't go out during the day. Instead, she waits until the sun sets before she goes on one of her very many long walks in the woods. So she doesn't see much of her old friends anymore. Hetty sometimes feels sad and lonely, so she cheers herself up by going for walks in the woods near to where she lives. This is her favourite thing to do. The thing she loves the most about night walks is the earthy damp smells which make her feel safe and calm. But best of all, this is the perfect time to pick berries, mushrooms and tasty leaves. She sometimes wanders too far, but she's always back before the sun rises in the morning. Because she's so very shy and quiet, Hetty rarely bumps into any of her friends or neighbours while she's out on one of her walks, for if she did, Hetty would quickly pull her pink hood over her head and scuttle away and hide behind a bush until they had gone. Sometimes Hetty's shyness made her feel quite lonely. One warm spring morning, after a lovely walk in the woods, Hetty came home to find a letter on the front doormat. I wonder who it could be from, she thought. She hadn't had any letters for ages. Hetty opened the letter excitedly. Inside the shiny gold envelope was an invitation to her friend's wedding. Spike and Lily were to be married, and they would love Hetty to come and share their special day with them. Hetty hadn't seen Spike and Lily for such a long time, but the thought of going to a big wedding made her feel upset and worried. She was nervous of people and parties. Hetty wanted to say no, that she couldn't go. She thought, I know, I'll tell them I'm not well and I won't have to go. But on the other hand, she would love to see Spike and Lily and help them celebrate their wedding day. She thought and thought of what she could do. She just didn't know what to do. She sat down to think. Her tummy churned at the thought of being around so many people. She decided she would go on a long walk later when the sun had set. She needed to think, and she always did her best thinking when she was on one of her long walks in the woods. Hetty walked and walked. The darkness of the night and the smells of the wood helped to calm her. She thought about her friends, Spike and Lily, and how sad they would feel if she didn't go to their wedding. Spike and Lily had been her best friend for as long as she could remember. I can't let my best friends down, she said aloud. She decided she would go to the wedding. She'd put all her fears aside and go to the wedding for them. Hetty knew she would need to buy a new dress, shoes and handbag, so the next day she plucked up all her courage to go into town. Hetty set off very early. She wanted to be at the shops before it became too busy. She managed to buy a beautiful new dress with matching shoes and handbag, and even managed to buy a card and a gift for Spike and Lily. As she arrived back home, Hetty felt very proud of herself for being so very brave. Soon it was the day of the wedding. Once again, Hetty felt nervous. Her tummy churned and her mouth felt dry. Hetty didn't want to go to the wedding. She couldn't do it. She knew there would be too many people talking loudly, lots of laughing and very loud music. She walked in circles in her living room, wringing her hands with worry. Then suddenly there was a knock at the door. Hetty jumped up and opened the door to see Spike standing there with a big friendly smile on his face. "Spike!" Hetty gasped. "What are you doing here?" Spike held out his hand, and as he did this he said, "I knew you would be feeling a little nervous, so I've come to collect you and walk with you to the church." Hetty smiled. She felt a warm glow through her body. She took Spike's arm, and together the two friends walked to the church. Hetty enjoyed her day. She was able to wish Spike and Lily the very best of luck and congratulations on their special day. But best news of all is Hetty felt she had been very brave, because even though she was nervous, she went to the wedding anyway and had a lovely time. She also met a special friend at the wedding party, Stan the busy squirrel. They chatted together all afternoon. They had lots in common and discovered that Stan lived just down the lane from Hetty.
I've got to go now because it's dinner time.
Oh, okay then. Okay, you have a lovely day and come back soon.
I will do. Bye-bye, Freddie.
Say bye-bye, Fred. Bye, darling.
Bye.